Okay, I'm back. It's been a while, I guess, week, maybe more. I don't know. I need a haircut. God, do I need a haircut? All right, I, I'm amazed that we seem to be regressing as a nation back to the 50s and 60s in terms of racism, segregation, voting rights, things like that. I mean, segregation has always been around. I mean, we still bus kids, I think, in Boston to help balance out the school systems because neighborhoods become black and white neighborhoods don't want blacks to move in. It's I don't know whether that's 90. That's 99 about 90% racist. The other 10% is they just don't like people moving in their neighborhoods. Now the uh, worry that I have now is that because Trump made this big lie about he lost the election because of fraud, Republicans, now it's just only Republicans as far as I can tell, not independents, not Democrats, no, not even the Communist Party's involved in this, but they want to change things in the voting system so that it makes it a little more difficult for people to vote because they didn't like the turnout. Now, I don't know what you can say about that really. I mean, that they felt too many people voted, therefore there was opportunities for fraud. They won't come right out and say that this is done. They're doing this to prevent uh, victories of like they had because the Democrats seem to get most of the black vote and the poor vote and whatnot, and the older vote. So that they're trying to see to it that just the genteel people get to vote in the elections coming up. Um, I would hate to see that since I don't live in the United States anymore. Doesn't mean that I don't pay attention to what's going on. Doesn't mean that I don't have friends and family in the United States. It just means that it's in order for me to retire, it was necessary for me to move someplace where it was cheaper to live. And my economics said that since my wife was from Colombia, that this is where I should be. Do I miss my friends? Do I miss my family? Yes, I do. Uh, I try to stay in touch with them through Facebook and things like this, but I don't know whether it works or it doesn't. I don't know whether they realize how much I miss them and how much I love most of them, but you know, that's just a thing. Um, but if I was being told that I couldn't vote, and then I have to worry about uh, people messing with my social security and worry about my family being members of my family are Asian American and I have to worry about them being attacked. I mean, this is bullshit, and I can't vote to do something about that, to change the way we think, or I mean, why don't you just turn off the internet and let nobody talk to anybody and no voting and no nothing, if they said internet voting, I would say, yeah, there's a very good chance of fraud there. Um, because they're just, the hackers go absolutely berserk on something like that. I mean, the Republicans and Democrats would both be hiring people that go, one person could cast 1 million votes that way, so no, I don't think something like that. I don't understand. I'm sure there's a verification process. My signature's on file in several places. My fingerprints are on file in the United States. So I don't understand how you can prevent somebody, like me, from voting. Um, I don't think that anybody should be prevented from voting so long as they're a citizen of the United States. And I am a citizen of the United States. I didn't give up my citizenship when I moved. I'm not a citizen of Colombia. I'm a visitor here. I'm a resident. Just like anybody carrying a green card in the United States is a resident alien. I'm a resident alien of Colombia. I pay insurance down here. I pay everything down here. I don't know. I'm not at the. I don't make any money, so I don't pay any taxes down here. But that's not. I pay rent. I pay administration fees for stuff. You know, I pay sales tax. You know, so I don't know, but preventing people from voting is an act of fear, and I don't understand it. Do people realize that if the people take to the streets this time, how bad it would be? We're not talking Black Lives Matters up against police officers, all right? You're talking about separation of black and white, you know, and that means that the smaller percentage of pure white people in the United States would be going up against the people of color. Now, the American Indian people have never taken a real side in this with the black people, because the black people persecuted them all through history. They were the Buffalo Soldiers. They were the ones that did most of the hunting them down, you know, and harassing back in the day. So they're not really united with anybody. But if they all got together, if all the American Indians and the black people and Latinos all got together, white people are a minority, you know, and you're going to choose, and when you push a conflict like this where you have fringe people, like you have white people that believe the black people have the rights and whatnot. The Civil War was a horrible thing, okay? Was it about segregation? A lot of it was about segregation. A lot of it was about states' rights. You know, and you had, truly, you had brother against brother. You had cousins shooting and killing each other. If you want to see that again, because the next time people go taking to the streets and whatnot, this is not going to be a quiet, or not so quiet, but this isn't going to be about Martin Luther King type marches. You know, this is going to be about, let's go shoot them motherfuckers. You know, there are more armed militias. There are more whack jobs carrying guns now than there were back then. You know, you had to make it. You had to make a gun if you wanted a gun back then. Now you just go. They'll give them to you. You know, because it's. And the military is going to get involved in this. And the problem you have with the military is there's a tremendous amount of people of color and Latinos and whatnot in the military. How do we know what side? You think because they take an oath they're going to take one side? They were worried about it. They found out that there's a racist group, people in the military at that riot in D.C. You know, it's a scary situation. This would not be a nice. America would become a very unnice place. America could become like Venezuela or China, or not China, but so much Hong Kong or something like that, where you have a great deal of democratic believing people, but then you have the military fighting against you. You know, so who knows? I mean, I'm afraid of stuff like that. I don't. You know, I remember the riots. We had them in the town I lived in. I was in the National Guard. I was in Newark during the riots. It's not something you want to see. I talked to the people down there, you know, and they were losing. They lost their homes because people came into their town and used their town as a battleground. You know, the people in town, a lot of them didn't give a shit one way or the other. Leave us alone. We want to go to work. We want to pay our bills. We just want to live. You know, we just want to go to work, come home, drink a 40, bang our wives, and that's it. You know, but no. You know, you had people coming in that said, "Well, you need to do this, you need to do that," you know, and we're gonna help you. And well, sure, I don't mind helping them. You know, helping them was a good idea, but coming in and destroying their neighborhoods. I mean, they weren't burning the white people's businesses. They were burning the places where they went and bought food. They were burning the places where they lived. That was the stupidity of it. I mean, that's, you know, you want to burn something, go out of your town, go to their neighborhood and burn their shit. Don't burn your own shit. Doesn't make any sense. You know, it's just, to me, that's ridiculous. You hurt yourselves. Why do that? You know, I'm not advocating they go marching in the other parts of the cities or states or whatever. I'm saying that violence isn't going to answer anything. Violence does nothing but protect the rich and the corrupt. It doesn't help the poor people. It doesn't help the individuals, you know. And you get situations like you have in Venezuela, where you have people that support the president, but these people are hungry. Yet they think he's doing a good job. He's able to convince them, just like QAnon is able to convince their followers, that the government is at fault. The government isn't at fault. It's the government of the United States that's at fault. We're at fault for. We don't get gratitude a lot of the times. Not that we deserve it sometimes, but we don't get gratitude when we go in and help nations. What we do get is we get blamed for everything bad that happens in some countries, especially poor countries. We get blamed for everything that's bad that's happened because we don't go in, either because we don't go in to help them, or because we support the wrong people, which we've done a lot of. You know, we've ended up supporting dictators in many countries, especially in South America. You know, the CIA has come down here because there's natural resources, and the greed is. It's just, listen, I don't want to go off on that tangent. We can come back to that another day or so, or something. You want to talk about that? Listen, time change for my live broadcasts. If you're in the United States, you got to go to daylight savings time, so you'll be an hour ahead. In other words, I'm still broadcasting at 7 p.m. down here, but it'll be 8 p.m. up on the East Coast, and then follow it across the country if you want to do that. I mean, it's just, we don't change our time down here. We get, you get over 12 hours of sunlight a day, and you don't, trust me, you don't need and you don't want any more than that, you know. All right, listen, it's Sunday. Go have some fun. I hear they're starting to, reduce restrictions and stuff in the country. Just be careful. Get your vaccine, but stay careful. Just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean everything's okay. All right. It's like driving down the road. You gotta watch the other guy. You gotta worry about the other guy. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.